Good evening and welcome to my podcast. Um, this is uh, Fight CPS and Stop Taking Our Children. I'm Bob Pace. I'm glad to meet you. Um, okay. Hopefully you can hear me okay. And we missed Mr. Davis's podcast. I thought for sure I'd have it, but it forgot to put it in there. So try to get a hold of my show producer. Okay. Okay. Um, Okay. Um, I'm not sure if next Saturday we're going to have a podcast from Mr. Davis. He usually has a little blurb on there, but it's not there. But you've reached a live podcast and you found me on Facebook, and that is Fight CPS with Bob Pace. And I'm broadcasting on the YouTube using the StreamYard application, And tonight's a really special night for me because I'll be leaving at 4. That's why I'm on early, because I'm going to Friday Night Lights, the final game of the high school my son goes to for the state championships in football. Anyway, I want to welcome you all because you're like a family to me. Anything we discuss or talk about, I want to take care of you. You are beautiful people, and I'm sorry you have to go through this mess that I call the child protection system. Now, there's so many different acronyms that there's not enough time to go through them all. So when I say the child protection system, I mean all the government entities from every county in the United States and around the world that is supposed to protect our children from neglect or abuse. They're supposed to protect our children from neglect or abuse. Furthermore, if you're in dire straits and you need help, they're supposed to assist in housing and food and clothing and transportation, as well as education for your kids and for yourselves, like a parenting class. And then they're also supposed to help you medically wise, your children, yourself. And lastly, they're supposed to help you with a job. That's another aspect of CPS. They're also taking our children at an alarming rate. They have a incentive of 1997 by President Clinton that signed a law that CPS will give extra money if they have the children adopt in foster care. They don't like family reunification, and what they will do is they'll take your children, when they're not supposed to. You do not answer, talk to them. You do not let them take your children. You let them in your home. You don't even open up the door. But you don't know, just like I didn't know, so you give them your children. But your children weren't in danger. Mine were in school. What kind of danger is that? What kind of danger was that? It's a hard thing. I've been doing this now for over a year. I've done over 700 podcasts, and I've talked to over 600 people in all the 50 states, include Washington, D.C. I've talked to, other countries from Bangladesh to India to the Middle East to Africa to Europe to North America to South America, and then across the Pacific to New Zealand and Australia. Everybody has the same common denominator. It seems that CPS is always trying to take your kids away. I mean, you're like Alice in Wonderland fighting in there. You fill in the rabbit hole, you met the Chester cat, and they're sending you from room to room and you go nowhere. That's what CPS is like. That's what CPS is like. And it's a hard thing to be in there. It really is. And I feel for you. I feel for you all the time. Oh, good. We got a live call here. Okay. Good afternoon. And who's this?
Good afternoon.
Who is this?
It's Kimberly.
Yeah, who is this? This is Bob Pace. You reached the live
Kimberly
podcast.
from Illinois.
I'm sorry, what?
Kimberly from Illinois.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Kimberly. How are you been?
No, I'm doing all right.
I'm so sorry.
Things.
I haven't talked to you. Now, you're from Illinois, right?
Yeah.
Right. And what would you like to talk about tonight?
I don't know. I guess conflicts of interest, like, what would be considered a conflict with a judge on your case?
Well, a conflict of interest. Well, maybe there's a social worker that you work with that goes to your church, or maybe a social worker is in the hospital, the doctors, or there might be a conflict there. What do you insinuate? Do you think there's a conflict somewhere?
Well, the judge presiding on other cases of mine used to be a prosecutor against me. And then on top of that, has been kind of dating his cousin.
Wow.
So I don't know if I should tell him and if he would have to step down or what.
Okay, what is the conflict of interest? What's that person's position in the case?
It just says judge.
He's the presiding judge?
Yeah.
Whoa. Then you have to ask for a new judge.
Well, I kind of did without getting into the gory details of me dating his cousin.
Yeah, I mean, like conflict of interest is you could be dating somebody and they're involved in the case.
Directly? I'm not dating the judge. Just seeing his cousin on the side.
Right.
Okay, so is that a conflict or no?
Yeah, that would be. And you could ask for a new judge.
Even if the judge has been sitting on the case for over a year?
Yeah, if the judge has been sitting for a year, I mean, it just discovered it now. Is that what you said? You just discovered it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, if you just discovered it, now, Kimberly, I can't forget. Do you have an attorney?
No.
Okay.
No, it's a civil matter. Yeah.
So civil matter. Okay.
Yeah, it's a
Oh, that is a hard thing for you to be facing. Now, I forgot, how many children are we talking about?
4.
And
I only have one with him.
and so where are the 4 children? One's with you?
No, none of them are with me.
Are they with family?
No.
Are they with foster care?
Yeah.
And are you on a? Do you have a family reunification plan going on?
Yeah.
Okay. And where are you so far on that family unification?
I completed all the tasks successfully, but I can't get any more than an hour once a month if they don't come up with a reason not to do the visit.
Wow. This is a hard thing for you. I know it is, Kimberly. Especially up there in Illinois. And I think you're not the only one. There's another person from Illinois too. I think it's your friend that had a similar issue too,
Yeah.
right?
No, she doesn't have any issues. She works for CASA.
Yeah, but CASA, you be careful because CASA will tell the CPS what they hear. See, CASA is going to be hidden ears. You can't trust CASA. The court appointed person is going to be listeners. That's why ombudsperson's bad, or they'll light
She's
them.
not on this case. She's just a friend.
Okay. Can she be any help to you? Can she help you?
She just says it's the most fucked up case she's ever seen.
Yeah.
But, I mean, she's been moral support, but says that they've messed up so bad on this case that they're, trying to cover their ass.
Right. Well, that is tough.
Do what?
I said that is tough, the predicament you're in.
Yeah.
When's your next court date?
Still don't have one. Been a few months.
Okay, but they're still doing the family reunification, not doing termination, right?
Yeah, but that don't mean nothing. They can change that and drop of a hat.
Yeah, that's true.
And they usually do. They'll wait till last minute to think everything's okay, and then they change it up on you.
Well, they build you up and they'll take you down too.
I expect it.
That's really, really, really discouraging. I feel for you. I really do. Whoops. We lost our person that was talking. Okay, let me see if I can get her back on. Yeah, Kimberly, I lost you.
Yeah, my phone, it's dormant, so my phone's cutting in and out.
Okay. Now, a question for you. Did you ever get that 15-minute of free consultation with Mr. Davis yet?
I talked to him. I don't know if it was necessarily a consultation.
What happened?
He's expensive. I can't afford it.
Yeah, I know, but did he at least give you some ideas?
He pretty much told me I'm screwed because I have an appointed attorney. I can't afford an attorney, and more or less can't get my attorney to do anything on my case. So it's going to cost me in the end of the day.
Oh, man.
That was resulting.
I'm sorry. I was really hoping something could happen.
Yeah, I know. I filed a ADRC complaint. I sent them copies of text messages, like, back in August, he said he had the motion to modify to increase my visit drafted, and he was going to file it at the next court date. He never did. And then again in October, he said he's got it drafted. He's going to file it again. But he never filed it. And here we all the way are from August to December. He never filed a damn thing. I didn't file it. I should have my visits increased. I should be getting reunified at this point, but that's not exactly what's happening.
Wow. Well, we have a person named Shantana Flores that came into the room. I don't know where you are from, Shantana, but she says they give us 4 days of visitation, but they're not doing what the judge asked them to do. Well, you need to make sure the judge does it. You need to get your attorney if you have one. Shannon also says they did let us sign papers for the visits ahead of time, but they lied to us, not coming over with my daughter. Yes, that's typical of CPS. Shantana, what is your city and state you're from, your county? Your city or county? Now, Archie Mann's been on before. He says, "Hi, Bob. It's been a while. I'm watching you live from Liberia." Okay, that's Archie. He is from the country in Africa called Liberia. I know you're a scout leader, and most of the things uh, are turned in. Yeah, and I appreciate you calling me, Archie, and give me update up there because you're a scouter and you're a scout leader, and you're trying to take care of your people in your country, Liberia, which is on the west coast of northern Africa. So glad to see you again, Archie. Shannon, I need to know where you're from. It says the CPS lied about us, and now they are making it difficult for us to get our daughter back. They're going to lie. They want to make money off your children. That's why they lie. They will absolutely tell you lies, Shannon. I don't know where you're from. Oh, you're from Arizona. Okay, what part of Arizona? Are you near Prescott, Arizona? And Shantana says, I have a lawyer. Good, good, good. I hope he is a family juvenile dependency lawyer. That has to be the right kind. That has to be the right kind. You're from Tucson. Okay. I think your agency is called the Department of Children's Services, DCS. And I welcome you. There's a little town called Prescott in Arizona that's famous for a couple things. One, it's the town where they shot the 4 Billy Jack movies in the late 60s, early 70s. And then there was in 2022, 8 social workers that decided to buy pink t-shirts, not for breast cancer awareness, but for advertising. And their message on the front of their shirt read, professional child kidnappers. And on the back it said, parents, you know where your children are at. That is the image of a social worker. That's what you're doing with. They're that awful. And they paraded that message around in Prescott at Walmart and Costco and Best Buys and Target and all the big department stores, whatever it is. They were caught, they were fired, all 8 of them, along with the director. That's 9 people. But that left the office with only one person to handle the calls and the investigations. So, Shannon Flores, I feel what you're going through. Now, on the phone, we have Kimberly from Illinois. And she has an attorney that she can't afford. She did talk to Mr. Davis, but he's too expensive. But her court-appointed attorney. Have you thought about replacing the attorney? Not only you replace the judge, maybe you need to replace the attorney with another.
I haven't replaced the judge.
Oh, well, I think you should, because the conflict is.
It's not that judge. It's a different judge on the divorce
Oh, okay. That's a hard thing to
Yeah.
go through. Losing your children, then have to deal with divorce. That's terrible. Are there
Okay, well,
any?
thank you for having me. I'm gonna jump off here.
Okay, and we'll leave it up to somebody else. But thank you so much
Yeah.
for talking, Kimberly, and God bless you. And keep in touch. All right.
All right. Thank you.
You bet. Bye bye, Kimberly. That was Kimberly from Illinois. She's so discouraged because she really needs an attorney. All of you out there, you need to have an attorney. That's so important there. That's so important there. Now, at the bottom of my screen, there's a message that you go to a website and you can talk to Vincent Davis for 30 minutes for $60. It's 30 minutes for $60. All you do is go to that website, use your credit card, book a time, and then you can have your private consultation with them for 30 minutes, and it'll be $60. It's a pretty good deal on there, and that will stay up on the window for my show. Now, besides being in this room, you can also um, type in a message, either a comments or CPS questions. All I ask you is please show your first name, your city or county, your state or country, and be complete with your CPS case. And that's another way you can interact. I appreciate the emojis. Archie, thank you so much. Archie's from Libya, Africa. He works as a scout leader, and he really wants to take care of children. So nice to have somebody from another part of the world that you can communicate with. So thank you, Archie. Thank you very much. Now, another way is that you can be a guest on my podcast. Being a guest is not that hard to do. To be a guest, all you have to do is contact my show producer, Grace, at vincentwdavis.com. And all you have to, when you do contact him, then she will help you set up a time with Mr. Davis for 15 minutes. If you call in to my phone number, let me put my phone number up, okay? When you call into my phone number, 626-698-0990, you'll reach my phone. I use Vonage, and I'll gladly talk to you. That will also qualify you for a 15-minute consultation with Mr. Davis. So you either be a part of the radio show or part of a phone call. And I have talked to you guys with much appreciation. Now, that number I use Vonage, and it's my office direct line, and you can call on the phone. I just had Kimberly from Illinois call me on my phone, so I know it works. And that way, I can have up to 9 of you as guests that you make arrangements with Grace at vincentdavis.com. And she will mainly talk to you and help you with your other issues with the child protection system. So those are the 4 ways you interact with this podcast. 1, you're in this podcast right now, this room, and you can do emojis and check off you want to follow me or you want to be notified when I'm on. The second one is to be a guest on my podcast. And then the third one is that you can be on my podcast by calling in and so forth. So I love to have with you. I love to work anything I can do with you. Now, we have some more people. All right. I'm glad Santana Flores has a lawyer. I hope he is a dependency family a family juvenile dependent lawyer. It's very important they have dependence experience. It's also should be experience with a Now, Sean further says, who is from Tucson, Arizona, with her case. She says that the DCS, Department of Children's Service, which is the CPS system, got into trouble for not allowing us with the judge wants them to do. Well, you need to throw that back on them. You need to tell your attorney that they need to do something about that this is not following what the directions of the court. And I think that's really, really important that you call them right away. And now, I've told about how they interact with this podcast. There are 5 rules that you need to follow. Now, I've been fighting CPS for 15 years. I'm a family man. I have 6 children, an older group of 3 and a younger group of 3. I also have 42 years of marriage experience. And I really want to help you with your case. As I said, rule number 1 is finding an attorney. And we have one. It's Vincent Davis. He's a pit bull of an attorney. He has been doing this for 35 years, fighting CPS, and he's won many cases of having children returned. He also is a trial attorney. He can file a trial for your social worker not admitting things that are in her life that are harmful. Now, rule number 2 is you should organize your documents into a notebook, 3-ring binder. In there, you should have dividers and notebook papers. One important document is the incident time log. That's where you write on the first line the location and the people you talk to and the date and time. Further, you should make a summary sentence of what the allegations were, and then you should put the how the allegations got corrected. If you don't have it, then that's not going to help you on that way. Now, the third rule is you always say no to social workers and you not let them in your home. I did a mistake. I allowed them into my home. And that was a big, big time mistake. Also, you got to watch out. If you encounter them on the site, you just tell them very nicely, gather the information, take pictures of the policeman's badge and the social worker's ornament and arm that he had there. And okay. There's also something called medical trafficking you got to be careful about. And that's where you take your child into urgent care or the emergency room of the hospital. You know, even though a doctor may diagnose something and once you have treatment, you don't necessarily have to follow it. You can be your own doctor. And sometimes it may be your own thing to be pro se. But whether you're an attorney or a pro se or an acting, also another form of medical trafficking is when you have a child and the social worker and the policeman want to take your child, if you're still connected with the umbilical cord. You tell them no. You ask the hospital staff to get out of there because all they do is they're fishing for information. They're fishermen. That's why they come over to your house unannounced. Now, my rule number 4 is really simple. It's where you go on the internet and you paraphrase a question in the proper order of words. The first word is going to be the city you live at. If the city is too small, you want to use the next city. This could be such true as the lady in front of here. She wears a seat, repeating all the times there. Now, in my case, I fought them. I fought them for 15 years. So that's why the time log is very important to have. And I've discovered ways of doing it. If you want to research the internet, my rule number 5, you got to do it very extensively. You just got to bring those numbers down and react to them. And I can show you 100 of these videos, but it's not possible to do that with my account. Now, there's several ways you interact with this podcast, either by calling in at my office number, and that's 626 690. Good evening. This is Bob Pace, and welcome to my podcast. Who am I talking to? Oh boy. I had you, but then lost you. Let me try you again.
Hello, and thank you for calling. Unfortunately, there is no one available to take your call at this time. We are either assisting other callers.
I guess that wasn't someone trying to call in. Here's another one. Hello, good evening. It's Bob Pace.
Hello.
Hello, who's this?
This is Shantana.
Oh, hi, Shantana. Are you the one that's been, are you Shantana Forrest?
Yes.
Right, and you're from Tucson, Arizona. Right? Hello?
Hello, and thank you for calling. Unfortunately, there is no one available to take your call at this time. We are either assisting other callers, away from our desk, or currently closed. If you would like to try it another time, our offices are generally open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to...
That still is wrong. Okay, let me see if I can find out who called in. We can try again. Hi, this is Bob Pace.
Hello.
This is Shannon?
Hi, this is Shantana.
Yes, I'm sorry I lost you. I have no idea why I did, but I did.
That's okay.
Now, you were texting me messages, which is great. I'm glad that you did. Let me hold on a second here. What you could do that would help me is start from the beginning of your case, if you could. That would be great.
Okay. Well, the DCS came over and she wanted to talk to my husband, and I told her that my husband's been busy calling around for his job and everything.
Okay.
And he said that, okay, I'll contact you. I'll contact him the next day. So I was okay. So I closed the door, and then she has the nerve to call the cops on us. And
who called the cops? Who called the cops?
The DCS.
Now, why did they call the police?
Because she lied to them, saying that we were arguing when we weren't.
Okay, then why are you talking to them?
Because
I don't know what to say because I told him, well, my husband's busy, and then my husband told me that he doesn't want to talk to them.
Well, what
So
you
I
could
just,
do
you
is
know,
tell them, you don't have to do that. You can be very nice to them and tell them,
Yeah.
I need to speak to my attorney first. My attorney and I will talk to you. I cannot talk to you in my home. I cannot talk to your place of business. We'll have to meet someplace like McDonald's or Starbucks. And my attorney will contact you. What is your name, ma'am? And then just cut it off. Just say, I can't talk further. You're entitled, your constitutional right is to have representation. You're supposed to have representation.
Oh, okay.
And that's an easy way to get them. Now, you may not have an attorney, but it gives you some time to get an attorney.
Yeah, and I don't have an attorney. I just only have a lawyer.
Well, okay. What you have is what's called a public defender or a court-appointed lawyer. And that public defender, court-appointed lawyer, works for CPS. They won't work for you. And so what you have to do is that you have to get somebody like an attorney. They'll speak on your behalf because you'll be eaten alive. It's like doing open heart surgery. If you don't get a professional lawyer, you won't be able to fight your case because these people are bad. You're Alice in Wonderland. You fall in the rabbit hole and you met the Chester cat and they send you from room to room where you go nowhere. That's what CPS, you go nowhere. They make promises they don't keep. They're into it for the money. It's a $1 trillion business. $1 trillion is what they make off the children and so forth. It's all about money. It's all about money.
Yeah, that's what I find out about that. Like, they were making money off of my daughter, and I told them that they weren't taking good care of my daughter because she was been coughing and sick, and then I made a complaint to my lawyer about that. And the DCS came over 3 days ago, told me not to contact my lawyer about everything and contact them about it. Right.
Well, can you afford an attorney, or is right now you have no money?
No, right now I don't have no money.
Okay, that is tough. I know that's tough, and I feel for you on that one. I feel for that.
But I do have a lawyer, but I don't know if that will help. But do I need to have an attorney?
Well, here's the problem: is the lawyer that they appointed works for CPS. He or she will be lazy. They don't have any background in dependency law or family juvenile law. They're only a criminal attorney. They're just beginning, and they're paid by CPS. So it's really going to be hard for you. It's really going to be hard for you.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I really feel for you. I really feel for you.
All right. So the lawyer's not the same thing as the attorney, right?
Okay, let me tell you the terminology, okay? Attorney and a lawyer are the same thing. That describes a person that will defend you. That's what a lawyer attorney is. Okay. There's several types of lawyers and attorneys. One is a professional one that you hire that's trained in dependency law, juvenile and family law. The other one's what's called a court appointed, where the court appoints you attorney because you tell them you don't have the money for one. They're hoping you take up that one because they'll eat you alive. And that's what's so tough.
Okay.
And I know that's not the answer you wanted to hear. Yeah, but there
was no evidence of my daughter being abused, and there was no evidence of me I'm not a drug addict, I'm not an alcoholic.
Well, what were the allegations? What were the allegations that they first said?
Yeah.
What were the allegations?
But they were saying that we were doing drugs when we weren't.
Okay. They were trying to identify that you did drugs. Have you gone to your own doctor and got a drug test showing you don't have drugs in your system? Have you done that?
Yeah, we have been doing that.
All right. And has it been coming back positive or negative?
It's negative.
All right. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah. All right. And thank you for everything.
Well, no, that's fine. You don't have to go. We only got a couple of minutes left, so you might as well stay in the show. Did you know that by you calling in, that you're going to be qualified to have a free consultation with Mr. Davis, a real public, a family dependency juvenile lawyer? Did you know that?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. What you're going to do is you're going to call into my number. Let me put my number up so you can see it. Hold on a second. You're going to text me the same number you called in, 626-690. Okay. 698-0990. And you'll text in your full name, your phone number, and your email. And then I'll set you up with a 15-minute private consultation with Mr. Davis where you can talk about your case and he give you some insights. Okay?
Okay. All right. Thank you.
That's all you have to do is fax it into me. All right?
Okay.
All right. Well, I want to thank you very much for calling in and talking on my podcast. And I want you to know you can call in anytime you want.
Okay.
Let me see. You're from Tucson, Arizona. Okay, good. And you had a question you asked me. Will the Department of Children's Services get us in trouble for not following us what the judge wants to do? You need to follow what the judge has ordered you to, but you have to follow what your attorney does. If your attorney says you have to do something, you do it.
Yeah, but me and my husband have been following up with the visitation with my daughter, but the aid and the DCS is not following up with their part.
Well, you can
they
follow.
They sign papers ahead of time, and then that day when it comes around, they just make an excuse saying that they're sick.
Yeah. Well, Albie says something to you. He says, sounds like domestic violence in front of the kids. You didn't do domestic violence in front of the kids, did you?
No.
You don't argue with your husband, right?
No, yeah. We don't argue.
That's good. She also says, Albie says, you should keep all the documents. You should show all the documents. Follow the documents that you have.
Okay.
And keep fighting and don't give up. Now, I want to thank Albie for texting in. Albie, I don't know where you're from, but Shantan Florence, you're from Tucson, Arizona. And again, thank you for being a guest on my show. Archie, man from Liberia, Northern Africa on the West Coast, it's good to hear from you. Let me see who else we got. That's pretty much it today. So I'm doing my podcast early tonight because I'm going to a football game with my son. His team is playing for the state championships. So I'll see you all tomorrow at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I go to church, so I won't be on at 10. I'll be on at 8 o'clock tomorrow and 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So thank you all for touching base and calling in. And God bless you. Do not give up. This is Bob Pace signing off.